Hello everyone, this is Athat and I am here to explain you about the agency and its creation under section 182 of the Indian Contract Act. So let's start with the agency. Agency means when a person is employed to do act for another person with the purpose to create a contractual relationship with the third person. Here it means that when a principal employ agent with the purpose to create a contractual relationship for him with the third person is called agency under section 182 of the Indian Contract Act. Generally what happen under agency, there are two parties and those two parties are principal and agent. So under agency what happen, principal primarily employ agent for the purpose to create a contractual relationship with the third person for him. That is called agency under section 182 of the Indian Contract Act. So to form agency under section 182 of the Indian Contract Act, what is required? We required two essential elements. And what are those two essential elements? Those two essential elements are derivative authority and contractual relationship. If these two elements are no present, then there will be no agency under section 182 of the Indian Contract Act, because if the agent do not have any derivative authority, then how come he is gonna create the contractual relationship with the third person for principal? So for the purpose to create the contractual relationship with the third person, it is necessary that principal should give derivative authority to his agent so that his agent could able to form the contractual relationship with the. So let me give you some example for this. There was a case before the court and the name of that case is Mahesh Chandra vs Radhakishore. In that case, it was held that in order to constitute agency under section 182 of the Indian Contract Act, it is necessary that whenever a principal hire agent, he should give him some derivative authority so that his agent could able to form the contractual relationship with that third person under section 182 of the Indian Contract Act. There was another case and the name of that case is Krishna Bhatta versus Ganpati Bhatta. In that case, it was said that whenever a servant render some personal service to his master, that does not amount to agency under section 182 of the Indian Contract Act. Why so? Because he is just fulfilling his duty towards his master. He is not representing his master with the third person and he is not creating any kind of contract relationship with the third person. That's why it does not amount to agency under section 182 of the Indian Contract Act. In order to constitute agency under section 182 of the Indian Contract Act, it is necessary that there should be some derivative authority and representative character. Here it means that in order to constitute agency, these two essential elements are required. If these two are absent, then there will be no agency under section 182 of the Indian Contract Act. For example, there are three persons A, B and C. Here C is the third person, B is the agent, A is the principal. So now what A is doing, A is giving some derivative authority to B. Why he is giving derivative authority to B? So that B could able to form the contractual relationship with C for A, and this will amount to agency under section 182 of the Indian Contract Act, because here both the elements are fulfilled. Both those two elements are representative authority, because here B is representing A with C and another is derivative authority with the purpose to create the contractual relationship. So here it means that A has also given some derivative authority to B so that B could able to form the contractual relationship with C for A. So it is known as agency under section 182 of the Indian Contract Act. So now let's come to section 183 of the Indian Contract Act, which says that who may employ an agent. Any person can employ an agent who is of the age of majority and who is of sound mind under section 183 of the Indian Contract Act. Here it means that the minor cannot employ an agent for himself because the minor's agreement is void. There was a case and the name of that case is Shepherd versus Cartwright. SHEPHARD versus Cartwright, CARTWRIGHT. So in that case, it was held that a minor cannot employ an agent for himself neither by a power of attorney nor by any other means, because the minor's agreement is very clearly void. And it was also said that whatever activities has been done with the purpose to create a contract relationship with the third person, those activities shall be void under this section, because a minor cannot employ an agent because of his discretion. Now, but sometimes there is a situation where minor can employ an agent for himself, where a minor is able to bind himself by a contract. He can employ an agent for himself, because whatever a person do, he do everything through his agent. So in such cases, a minor can employ an agent for himself. So now let's come to section 184 of the Indian Contract Act, which says that who may be an agent. It means that any person can become an agent who is of sound mind and who is age of majority. It means that the minor cannot become an agent, but nowhere in this section it has been written that a minor cannot become an agent. Only it has been written that any person can become an agent who is of sound mind and who is of the age of majority. So on the basis of this, we could say that a minor can also become an agent under agency of the Indian Contract Act. Now, whenever a minor become agent under agency, he incurs personal liability. It means whatever will be happen in the agency, and if any loss happen, then for that agent will not be responsible. That is to say, minor will not be responsible for all that. So as I told you that the minor do not incur any personal liability to his principal, so therefore on the basis of this we could say that a minor can also become an agent under the agency, because he is not going to incur any personal liability to his principal. So that's why we cannot put restriction on the part of the minor to become an agent under agency. So therefore it is not necessary that agent need to be competent under the agency with the purpose to create a contractual relationship. It means that minor can also become the agent under section 184 of the Indian Contract. So now let's come to the another method of the creation of agency. Another method is implied agencies. Implied agency arises from the conduct or the situation or the relationship of the parties. Let me give you one example for this. There was a case, and the name of that case is Smith versus Morse. SMITH versus Morse, MOSSE. In that case, it happened that there was a lady who allowed her son to drive a car for her. So here it gives rise to a situation of implied agencies. How come? Because here, because of the relationship between that lady and her son, it means that that lady allowed her son to drive a car for her, and if anything happens, then who will be responsible? Then that lady will be responsible rather than her son. Besides this, that lady also agreed to pay for all the expenses, including maintenance as well as operation of the car. So that's why here we could say that this is a situation of implied agencies, because that lady specifically hired her son to drive a car for her, and if anything happens, say for example, if any that car gets collided with some other person, then who will be responsible in such situation? Then that lady will be responsible rather than her son. So therefore this is a situation of implied agencies. So now let me give you one more example of husband and wife. The wife is the implied agent of her husband, and for that there are certain situations which needs to be fulfilled. The first situation is there should be a domestic establishment of wife and husband, and the wife and husband should be living together, and the wife can run her husband into that only for the purpose of necessaries, which include some essential things required for the survival of the life, not like a gold pen or like gold or handkerchief or something. No, this is not the necessary thing. Another, and the last one is where a husband makes a reasonable allowance to his wife for her needs. So now let me explain you this with the case. The name of that case is Girdhailar versus Crawford. In that case, it was said that the husband can negative his liability by proving that where he expressly warned the tradesman not to supply the goods on credit, where the wife was already supplied with the necessaries, and the last one is where the wife was supplied with the sufficient means to buy goods rather than buying the goods on credit. So in all these three cases, the husband will not be. Another method for the creation of agency is agency by estoppel under section 237 of the Indian Contract Act. It means that whenever an agent does acts and incur obligation to the third person without having any authority on the behalf of the principal, then in such situation the principal will be bound, provided the agent through his words or through his conduct induce the third person to believe that yes, the agent has authority to act on the behalf of principal with the purpose to create a contractual relationship. So let me give you one example. If A consign goods to B and instruct him not to sell the goods under a fixed price, but now C gets into contract with B, and now here the C is unaware of the fact that B is not allowed to sell the goods under the fixed price, but still he sells the good to C lower than the reserved price. So here A will be bound. Here A is the principal and he will be bound. I hope you are clear with this. So now the another method is agency by necessity. It means that in case of emergency, the agent could go beyond the authority for the purpose of saving the goods. And in such situation, we cannot impose the liability on the agent that why he has gone beyond the authority, because for considering the betterment of the goods, the agent has acted beyond the authority. Now let me give you one example for this. There was a case, and the name of that case is Simpson Company versus Railway Midland Company. In that case, it happened that a certain quantity of butter was consigned to the defendant railway company. But due to the strike, the delivery of the butter got late. So, for considering the betterment of the good, the company sold the butter. And it was held that the sale of the butter was valid because the butter is of perishable nature, and because of this we cannot impose any liability on the company, because whatever the company did just to save the good. So here this is called the agency by necessity. Now, the last method is agency by ratification under section 196 of the Indian Contract Act, which says that if an agent does any act on the behalf of principal without his knowledge, or you can say without his consent, then in such situation the principal is given two options, and those two options are either he has to ratify this act or he has to disown it. But if he chooses to ratify, then the same effect will be followed as if they had been done with the authority of the principal. Now, to make you feel more comfortable with this section, let me give you one example. If A buys good for B without his consent, or you can say without his knowledge, but later on what B do, B sells those goods to C on his own account. So now from this example, we could clearly say that B has ratified the act. So this is what is called agency by ratification under section 196 of the Indian Contract Act. Now here we are done with agency and its